got an interesting topic today. I, as a kid, was a huge fan of the Washington Redskins. Okay. Now I know they've had a lot of years of not being a good team, and they're now called the Washington Commanders, right? But I hadn't been watching football. And how does this relate to music? I'm getting there. I hadn't been watching football this year. Just hadn't tuned into it. Haven't had time. But I saw that the Commanders were playing the Detroit Lions. And from what I understand, the Detroit Lions were, I think, number one in their division or something. Very good team this year. To see that the Commanders, formerly the Washington Redskins, were playing in the championship game or divisional championship or whatever it was. And so I tuned in and I was like, dude, the Commanders are kicking butt, dude. What's going on? What's going on? Right? So, I didn't watch it completely, but I'm seeing this quarterback. They got this quarterback and he's getting it done, bro. And he's getting it done. Of course, the Lions, I guess, had some injuries on defense and all this, but, and you can let me know in the comments. I think is it Jayden Thomas? Is that the quarterback of the Commanders? Let me know in the comments. Cause like I said, man, I haven't been watching it. Haven't had time to follow it, but, I'm like, okay, wow, this guy's good. And they beat a really good team with a really good coach. All right. Well, they got something going here. Well, I read yesterday an article on Twitter. It was a long, thread. And apparently these two scientists had come up with, using VR, virtual reality. They put those goggles on and you see a virtual reality, and then you can train, you can do different things, right? But these two people had come up with some kind of virtual reality training, right? And I think they were, let me know in the comments if you know more about this story, but they were using the training, I think maybe for soccer or something, and they weren't having any luck with it or something. And then this quarterback, this guy, the guy that's playing for the Commanders now, I guess he was going through a tough period in college, and he had all this talent, but he was just something was off with him. Now, let me know in the comments if you know more about this guy. But the story was that these scientists, these VR, tech guys, approached him or somehow hooked up with this quarterback, and with VR training, right? Now, you could say, oh, well, VR training. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But what they did, and this is the ingenious part, is he started training with the speed cranked up to 1.75. So faster. Training with a VR and seeing images and seeing the field at a quicker tempo, a quicker pace. Now, why would you do this? What is the reason for this? And how does it tie into music? I'm going to get there. I'm getting there. He all of a sudden, when he got out on the field, when he got in the game, it was all of a sudden very slow. And he could see the entire field. If you're a quarterback, man, it must be a frightening thing to see all these people coming at you, and you've got to look beyond them, not be scared, and be able to pick out receivers, scan the field, connect to the open receiver, and dodge the people coming at you. And those people coming at you are animals. They are brutes. They're looking to pummel you. when they come in. So, man, you see a lot of quarterbacks and they get that fear in their eye and they're cowering down. It's over. Their career's done when they have that. Once they're shell shocked and been hit too many times, they're done. They're done. But this quarterback was using VR. And then if you get injured, he could still use the VR training to get his eyes used to, doing that. And without being out on the field and having to take repetitions and potentially get hurt in practice and all of that stuff, he was able to, look, I did the same thing. I used to get, have kind of panic attacks when I drive and stuff like that. And I found that when I would be online playing, Grand Theft Auto, and I'd be driving a super fast car in the game and learning how to maneuver, at a very fast speed, that then when I got in the car, it was easy. This is easy. I was going 125 miles per hour in the game, but now I'm in the car and it's no problem going 65, 70 miles an hour. That's easy. So it's a similar concept. And you're seeing it. You're seeing the first guy that's using this VR training to make his career take off. Now all of a sudden they're headed to the divisional playoffs. I guess it's next week, right? And he's the first guy to do that. But man, it's probably going to be adopted by many young players now. The old guys will probably be like, man, I don't need this, man. I got this. But man, most of the old quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, and now, Tom Brady's been retired, for a couple years now. Most of those old guys are going by the wayside. There's going to be a lot of young guys. And I think what would help with this is if the guy, before he gets too beat up in college, before he gets too beat up in the pros, that he adopts this technology. And, I don't know that it would necessarily help the defenders. Maybe what do they call it? The guys, let me know in the comments. The guys defending against the passes and stuff like that. It might help them, but it definitely, for a quarterback, this is going to be something that's going to change the game. There's going to be a lot of young quarterbacks training this way. And they're going to be able to see the field and pick apart defenses. They're going to be able to be like superhuman. The brain is developing and able to handle a lot faster tempo than the human legs can carry. So how can this relate to music? Okay, well, whenever a new technology comes and, it's used in a learning capacity, think about music. Think about studying music. Now, I am not a great sight reader, and I don't know how much that is needed in today's society with studio players can record at home, be sent a piece of music, take the time to learn it, do it on their own time, send it back. It's a lot more efficient, but if you were trying to improve your sight reading, think ahead, like even just reading a chord chart. You always got to look ahead at the chords that are coming up next and think about where's the closest position I can get to that chord and still make it sound smooth. Now, that's something I could probably work on myself. But imagine training with VR and speeding up the tempo of the piece that you have to play, building it up to that speed, being able to read a chord chart 1.75 times faster than what you're having to play. All of a sudden, you get to the gig, it's way easier because, boom, I can read anything now because I'm reading at a much faster pace. So I guess in theory, you could just practice faster with your metronome and all that. But I thought it was an interesting topic. And if there's ways that you think this technology could be used to improve musicianship, let me know in the comments. That was just an initial reaction that I had, that, look, this is going to change the way that football is played. This is going to change a lot of different things, a lot of different ways. And I was curious to see how it could change what we do with music. You let me know in the comments ways, because I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to go, wait a minute, could you have a virtual band in the VR headset? And could you learn to react and play with musicians and change the tempos and learn to react to maybe improvised AI thing? Think about that. There's a new one right there. AI band, virtual headset, AI virtual jazz keyboardist throwing chord subs at you and speeding it up. Guy throwing chord subs, trying to mess you up like sometimes players will do on gigs. I just did a video where I talked about a guy coming on the gig and trying to call a song to challenge me. And rather than having to use adrenaline and being angry to do it, what if I was in a virtual headset, boom, and I got guys screwing with me, trying to throw me off. And it's at a sped up tempo. So when I get on the gig, man, chord subs, you're not confusing me. I got you, boom. And you're able to play everything perfectly in a real life situation. It's an interesting concept of where technology will eventually take us. Now, if you have some other ideas of ways this can be beneficial, let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.